make becoming a business owner, working for yourself from going through a traditional career, is that we are the only ones holding ourselves accountable now. So you have to check in with yourself and ask yourself, am I going to show up for the other person? Am I going to show up for myself? Now I'm going to be real honest with you guys right now. I do not feel well. And getting on stage today, I was like, I have to show up 120% for the people in this audience, regardless of how I'm feeling, because you have to do the thing even when you don't want to do the thing. So if you're willing to give me the commitment that you're going to show up for me in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show up for you guys. Say yes. Yes! Thank you. Awesome. All right. Whoop, back. So what we're going to talk about is how we raise other people up in this business. So I have the pleasure of talking to you guys about creating consultants and rank advancing people and how you create a real income, a sustainable, long-lasting residual income in this industry. Everything in this industry about creating a real income is done through our rank advancements. It's through raising others up. It's through, our business is built on consultants that become managers by building more consultants, that become directors by building more consultants, that become executives by building more consultants, that become one-stars by building more consultants. And so what I want to talk to you guys today about is how do we really build a business of leaders, of people that are sharing. We talk about the money. And the thing here is that if you want a business, you have to talk about the business. It can't be a secret. And what I want to help you guys with today is that I want you to feel so confident and comfortable being able to talk about the money and really understand it, but in terms that are so easy to share, that you can cast this vision forward to people on your team, to people that you're prospecting, so that it becomes easy to create consultants. Who here would like it to be easier to create a consultant? Yeah. I'll never forget the switch I made when I recently went, I went 4-star this past May. And up until that point, thank you. Up until that point, I was really struggling to rank advance. I was really struggling to get to the next level. And I really wanted to hit 4-star before Top Achievers because I'm competitive, and there was like a couple other 4-stars that were my age there. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go as a 3-star. And so I made this decision within myself. I was like, I'm not going to get there bringing on customers. I need people to help me get there. I need to help raise others up. So I made a giant shift, and for a solid week, I just went all in casting a vision, talking about the money, talking about business. And guys, in that week alone, I created 5 consultants, all with value packs. And without that, I wouldn't have been able to hit 4-star. It wouldn't have happened. So I want to really help you guys be able to cast that vision forward and talk about the money with ease. So first and foremost, what excites you? Because if you can't get excited, then you're not going to excite others.
Come on. Yeah.
You have to be excited. So I want to share with you, and last year I was on stage here and I was sharing with you guys how I had just left my lease because I really wanted to travel the world. Guys, this is what excites me. This was the last year of my life at 24 years old. I was on 35 different planes. I was able to be in 4 different continents. I was able to live in Bali, Indonesia, which was my dream. Now, this doesn't have to be your dream. This was my dream at 24 years old, was to travel the world, and my dream has changed. I want to be home now. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to go on another plane. But what is your dream? Why are you here? Why are you in this seat? I can tell you right now, it's not to make $500. It's what that $500 can do for you.
That's right.
My dream was not to be able to have a certain income. It was that income to be able to allow me to have the freedom to live the life exactly how I wanted, to wake up every single day asking myself, who do I want to be around? What do I want to do? Who do I want to help? And that's it. That's the only questions I had to ask myself. Because I don't have kids. But like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a full-time family? Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do you want to be able to, like my mom's dream, to show your children that you can be a mom and have an incredible business and rise up other, people in your industry, but also in your children's life, being able to show them what's possible for professional professional women. How incredible is it, guys, that we get to show people that you can have it all? Like, really, the have-it-all woman is basically a network marketer. I can have the career and the family. It's amazing. So I want to talk to you, what is real wealth? And if you have ever been on an opportunity call, you've probably seen this slide before, but I love it because it really, really shows what real wealth is. Wealth is the number of days you can survive without physically working to maintain your standard of living. So, just a little math equation. If you're earning $4,000, if your expenses are $4,000 per month, and you have $12,000 in savings, which here's a secret for you guys, the average American doesn't, your wealth is about 3 months or 90 days. So if someone gets sick, if you get sick, if you lose your job, if you decide to move to Bali for 3 months, you can only survive for that long. The goal to create true wealth is to be able to, if you had to stop working, to be able to survive. To be able to bring in more income-producing asset, have your income-producing asset be bringing in more money than your monthly expenses. How would it feel if you knew, no matter what, you were earning enough that if you never worked again, you would never have to worry. You could afford your life. That's a really great feeling. It's an incredible feeling. That is true wealth. And I really want to explain to you guys that there is a difference between different types of ways to earn an income. So I love sharing this with people because we talk about residual income all the time in this industry. It's like the buzzwords, residual income, residual income, residual income. And a lot of times we don't actually know what it is. Like we're like, I get paid over and over and over again. But you can't really articulate that to someone that you're trying to, excite. You're not able to really, you don't really have a full concept. So I want you to really understand the different income streams so that you can share this. And I have probably repeated what I'm about to tell you more times than I can count, hundreds. Because I want the person that I'm talking to truly understand the difference between these things. So what is linear income? Linear income is exchanging time for money. It is any type of traditional career, whether you're earning a commission, whether you're earning commissions, whether you are getting paid hourly, or whether you have a salary. And guess what? There's some really high-paid linear income positions. I know that there are people on this team that were earning over $500,000 a year in their linear income jobs. And that's incredible, but it's still linear. And what a lot of people don't like when I tell them is that real estate, if you sell real estate, it's still linear. Because yes, you have more time freedom. Yes, you're able to make your own schedule. But at the end of the day, you put all your work in to create one sale that once sold and earned and spent is gone. It's over. And so you have to start again. And this is what this rat race is created from. And so it's really important because I see people all the time, they're like, I have a side hustle. So no, you have a second job. If you're working Uber, you have a second job, it's linear. Having a side hustle is creating wealth. It's having an asset. It's building something now that you're not getting paid as much on as you will in the future. It's having something that's going to pay you over and over and over again. There is a misunderstanding between having money and having wealth. There's a big misunderstanding between those two things. So then you have leveraged income. I love leveraged income. It's incredible. This is when your money is making money for you. You're able to be a business owner. This is really what the American dream is built on. Being a business owner, leveraged income, American dream is built on this. You can invest in real estate. You can invest in stocks. I tell people all the time, I love leveraged income. The problem is that it usually takes a lot of expertise. It takes having a lot of money to invest. And it takes time. So, okay, I can invest in the stock market, but I either need a lot of money to invest now so I can get paid sooner, or I need a little money that I'm going to not get paid back for a long period of time. I can invest in real estate. I was 21 years old when I started this business. I didn't have $100,000 lying around. I had no credit, right? So leverage income is great, but it's pretty much reserved for the people with special knowledge. It's reserved for the people with a lot of money to invest. And it's reserved for the people that have the time to wait for it. That's why money makes money. Then we have residual income. Now, I love teaching about residual income because I'll never forget, I was in New York City, I was going out with my friends, it was right after college, and I'm sitting in front of this guy, I had no idea what I do for a living, and somehow residual income got brought up. And he goes, oh, I'm so sick of hearing about that. He's like, that's a stupid pyramid scheme. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, it's so funny because we talk about it so much in our industry, but the average person's never heard of residual income, so they only associate with us as if it's like, we made it up. Like, we made up residual income. And I'm like, guys, residual income is the most incredible income stream in the world. We just happen to be the only industry in the world where you don't have to be special to earn it.
That's good.
That's it.
That's good.
And so, when I said to him, I was like, what do you mean? I go, you're sick of residual income? I'm like, well, what do you think authors of books are doing? Actors are doing? Musicians are doing? My favorite quote ever is from Taylor Swift. And they asked her in an interview, they said, if you could have written any song, what would you have written? And she said, Friends, theme song, obviously. And they were like, what? They're like, that's not really artistic. We're thinking that she's going to come up with this like really artistic answer because, you know, her ego's attached to it, right? No, her ego's not attached to it. She understands money. Think about the residuals on that. Do you know how many times I've played? Right? Because there's the 1%ers of the world that are taught how to actually create wealth. This isn't taught to us. Personal finances is not taught in school. Guys, I went to the #1 school in the world for entrepreneurship. No one taught residual income. Network marketing was never brought up. Think about that. So if I'm at the #1 school in the world for entrepreneurship, and I'm not getting this information, what about the rest of the world? It is our obligation to share this with people because they honestly think that this is just something like our industry made up. Like that we just created it. See, I love residual income, but in the past you had to have a special talent in order to have it. So, okay, I want to be in the leveraged income, I want to be in the residual income, but I don't have special education, I don't have special talent, I don't have a lot of money, and I don't have time. So where do we end up? We end up in linear income. And that's why the majority of our world is in linear income. Until what? Network marketing came around. Network marketing is the first industry that I know of that allows the everyday person the ability to participate in leveraged and residual income. And guys, when I was at Top Achievers this year, I was completely caught off guard, and Travis came up to me and he put a mic up to me and he said, tell me one thing why you decided to choose network marketing right out of college. And the first thing that popped in my head, I said, because you don't have to be in a bad place to understand this is a really, really good idea. Guys, you don't. And I love the story of hearing people go from nothing to everything because it's incredible, because this industry is the most incredible equalizer. You can come from any background. You can have any ethnicity, gender, sexuality. You can do whatever you want. Age doesn't matter, and you can create wealth here because all that matters is what you produce, how much you're willing to grow. I love that. But also, there's a lot of stigma around it that people kind of think they're better than the industry. They do. And so I remember I'm graduating top 10% of my class, and they go, you could have any job you want. You could have any job you want. Why are you going to do that? I go, why wouldn't I do this? Please tell me another place that I can, at 21 years old, create wealth for myself that I can then go take and do whatever I want, whatever I please, diversify, get into other businesses. I could earn a really high income somewhere else, but that's not wealth, and you need to understand the difference. I love this chart because if you really understand exponential growth, I always joke and go, I don't ever want to receive anything at a linear rate. I want to be investing my time, I want to be investing in my relationships, I want to be investing in what I eat. Everything is an investment to me because I want an exponential growth return. If I'm getting a linear return on my relationships, a linear return on my food, think about that. If I eat this, I feel good now. If I eat this, I feel good later. It's an investment. I want the big returns. You have to start thinking like that. And that's what this industry allows us. See, there is such a huge difference between financial success and financial freedom. See, I always love this because we're taught in school to become the most invaluable person in your career. Because if you're invaluable, then you'll have job security for life. So if you are irreplaceable, then you'll make sure that you can never be replaced. But guys, I don't want job security for life because I don't want a job for life. Like, really, think about what you're trying to get here. I want to be the most replaceable part of my income so that if I stop working, go to Tahiti, and never touch working again, my income's coming in because it doesn't rely on me. It doesn't rely on me. Guys, you have to ask yourself to really think about what you're doing. Because we're taught certain things. I'm taught to become valuable for job security. Have you ever asked if you wanted job security? You have to ask yourself that. And you have to check your ego at the door. Because one of the things I see in this industry, and I will be honest, I was one of them, is that it's really uncomfortable to become not valuable. Because we're taught to become valuable. And so we come into this industry that gifts us the most incredible systems in the world. And we find a way to break down the system so that we can be more important than the system. And the second we're more important than the system, our income relies on us. And there's a lot of people that will become sponsor monsters, or that they will build their business and they'll get on the stages and they'll speak and they'll talk and they'll create their own stuff, and they're just recreating the wheel instead of using the pieces that's supposed to give you the leverage. It's supposed to give you the leverage because the whole point of this industry is to leverage our time, and we're breaking it down. And I was like this, guys. I wasn't meaning to be. I didn't really understand what I was doing, but I just thought, you go to school and you're just taught to master things. You're taught to become the best at it. So we start duplicating and recreating things that don't need to be recreated. And then I was duplicating that through my team. So I had a girl come on board and she wanted to build a business. So she created her own sales model, and then she recorded her own videos on how to open the box. She did all this stuff, and I was like, well, that's awesome. You've done everything that doesn't earn you an income. Great. And I'm like, and so am I. And this is just this repetition. So I really want to ask yourself, can you check your ego at the door? Is it going to be okay with you to not be that important? Can you make your teammates more important than you? Can you make the system more important than you? Can you make the industry more important than you? Can you make isogenics more important than you? So that one day, when you're ready to retire and walk away, it just keeps going. Because you were not the thing that was making it go. That's so important. And we have to start rewiring our brain so that we think this way. Constantly. I ask myself, is that duplicatable? Yes or no? If I wasn't here, would that be able to happen? And anything that I'm repeating myself doing, I'm all right, let me figure out how I can make a tool so that my team can use this, or I can use this, so that my ego is taken out of it.
That's great.
And one of the things that I was laughing to myself is that we have a new training way of doing things on our team. Under one of the sections was books and things you should read. And one of the top ones is Business of the 21st Century. And I'd never read it. And I love Robert Kiyosaki. I've read all of his other books, and I had never read it. I'd never taken the time. And so I was like, all right, fine, I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the tool because that's what I'm told to do, and I'm being more coachable now. And so I go and I YouTube their 20-minute talk on it, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, darn. If I had just watched this 3 years ago, I could have saved myself about 30 minutes of call times, however many calls I'm doing a year. Because I wouldn't have had to be the important person saying the information, right? It's completely taken this time away from myself because it was more important to me that I got to say it than just finding the tool that said exactly what I was saying already. I was like, gosh, darn it, that's, all right, learning, next step. So I'm watching this tool and I'm listening, I'm hearing what he's saying to me, and he explains in this 20-minute video on YouTube about how he used to have an issue with network marketing because he just thought it was one of those things. And now this is the #1 man in the world for personal finances. And his entire career is built on helping the average person understand wealth. And so he talks about how it's employees, if you look at this chart, which I love this, and you should be able to share this with people, but that 95% of the population is earning 5% of the wealth because they're either employees or they're self-employed. The definition of that is it's linear income. And even the self-employed is linear income. There's a lot of people that own their job. It's still a job, they just own it. If you're in traditional business where you own a traditional business, you still have to show up to get paid. I know many people who are making well into the 6 figures, which is incredible, but it's not financial freedom. It's financial success because it's still dependent on you. And so he explains, he said, in order to go into where the 95% of the wealth is, where 5% of the population is, you need to become a business owner, which is owning a system. Guess what we have? It's a system, guys. We have a system. That's what's the most incredible part about network marketing is that you have this ability to operate like a small business and get paid like a big business because we own a system, as long as you're not breaking down the system. Or to become an investor. And so he was talking to this guy who he highly respected, who had just gone into the network marketing industry. And the guy, he's saying to him, why would you do one of those things? You're already wealthy. Those, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's this ego. It's like, that's for, those people that don't have a lot, and this is what's going to create a lot for them. But you're already wealthy, so you don't need to do that thing. And he said, no. He goes, I just want to give back. He's like, yeah, I've made my wealth, but people can't make wealth the way I made it. And so I realized that with this, I could just help people create more residual income. And if I could help people do that, well, I own a real estate business, so maybe they'd start using that passive residual income to invest in my businesses. And Robert Kiyosaki said, that was my aha moment, because this is a business to help people. All we're doing in this industry is helping people go from the left side to the right side of this quadrant.
That's fantastic.
We are helping the everyday person in giving them a vehicle to go from the 5% of wealth area to the 95% of wealth area. And once he realized that, he became a huge proponent of this industry because that was what he had based his entire career on. The #1 guy in personal finances. He said, my entire career is helping people go from here to here, and you found a way to do it. And guys, I joke about this a lot, but there's a lot of people out there that want to become life coaches, and they want to help you do what you need to do. And I say, that's awesome. Encouraging me to be better in my life is great. Encouraging me to, take control of my finances is great. But if you're not giving me a way to do it, it's really not that helpful. Personal development is everything. Invest in yourself, yes. But how do I get from here to here? Most people are like, yeah, they'll read this book and okay, I want to do this to that. But how? And honestly, guys, if you have the solution to help someone go from here to here, it's really selfish to keep it to yourself. Come on. Enough with just telling people, you should create more wealth for yourself. You should be happier. You should travel more. You should go do all these things. But then hiding from them the way to do it. We can all listen to positive quotes. We can all listen to a podcast. We can all go out there and motivate ourselves, go to motivational seminars. But what our industry has that all the rest of them doesn't is the actual vehicle to get from A to B. That's what we have here. So we do all the rest of helping build us up, which is incredible because your income will only grow to where you're willing to. But then we actually give them away the system and the mentorship to get from A to B. So before we break for lunch, what I really just want to leave you guys with today is one question. And you just have to ask yourself, have I been winning in a losing game? Thank you.
Wow.